Sunday's action was also filled with some tremendous play, a lot of drama and a few horrendous quarterback performances. Aaron Rodgers led his Green Bay Packers to a late-game win over the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, Matt Castle and Jay Cutler put up horrendous performances in a game between two struggling teams. For their part, the Jacksonville Jaguars laid the hammer down on Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. These are among the top takeaways from Sunday's Week 5 NFL action. This second-year player from Ohio State entered Sunday's action having recorded 13 sacks in 16 career games. He added 2 to that total in the first quarter alone, absolutely dominating New York Giants right tackle Bobby Hart in the process. Sure, Hart himself has been a dumpster fire this season, but we rarely see this type of domination from such a young player. It's akin to what J.J. Watt has been doing for the Houston Texans en route to earning 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. For his part, Bosa put up a grand total of 2 sacks and 3 quarterback hits in Sunday's 27-22 win over the Giants. He now has to be considered a potential DPOY candidate himself. Another devastating injury for a generational player. It was just a couple short years ago that J.J. Watt was on the verge of being mentioned among the greatest defensive players to ever suit up. 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. A total of 69 sacks and 15 forced fumbles during a 4-year span. Just simply a dominating player. Now, following his latest injury, that conversation has turned to whether health issues will lead to Watt failing to live up to his earlier career expectations. The 4-time All-Pro suffered a tibial plateau fracture in his left foot in the first half of Houston's loss to the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday night. According to NFL Media's Ian Rappaport, he will be lost for the remainder of the season. While the Texans have yet to confirm this report, the injury itself is serious. This comes on the heels of Watt missing all but 3 games last season after undergoing back surgery. Now, one has to wonder if he'll ever be the same again. It really is a crying shame. Raiders' defense will be their downfall. Heading into the season, we knew defense would be the Raiders' Achilles' heel. What we didn't know is that Derek Carr would go down to another semi-serious injury and star receiver Amari Cooper would prove fallible in many ways. That all came up in a big way during Oakland's 3rd consecutive loss, this time to the Baltimore Ravens at home. Facing a Ravens offense that had scored 16 points in their past 2 games, Oakland's defense was downright horrible. It yielded 365 total yards and 23 points, including a ridiculous 133 yards to Mike Wallace on 3 targets. Ouch. Replacing the injured Carr under center, Edge Manuel would go on to complete just half of his passes for 159 yards. Meanwhile, Cooper caught 1 pass for 8 yards on just 2 targets. It's at the point where Raiders head coach Jack Del Rio has to recognize what he's working with here. Down by 10 midway through the 4th, he punted on 3rd and short. Baltimore proceeded to go on a field goal scoring drive to put the game away. Oakland's defense is bad. Really bad. If Del Rio doesn't scheme to take this into account moving forward, any Super Bowl aspirations can be thrown out the window. It's that simple. Myles Garrett thrills in NFL debut. It didn't take this rookie number 1 overall pick long to make an impact in his NFL regular season debut. In his very first snap as a pro, the Texas A&M product recorded a sack of New York Jets quarterback Josh McCown. He would then follow that up with 1 more sack and 2 quarterback hits in what was an awe-inspiring debut. We fully understand the Jets' offense leaves a lot to be desired. But holding the team to 17 points is a huge step in the right direction for Cleveland. That's magnified by the fact that this team yielded an average of 27 points and a 115.2 passer rating in the first 4 games. Garrett's presence definitely made an impact here. Aaron Rodgers enters MVP conversation. Following a dramatic late-game win against the Cowboys in Dallas, Rodgers has his Green Bay Packers at 4-1 on the season. Considering the team is down to its 3rd-string running back, is without 3 offensive tackles for the season and has a shoddy defense. This is absolutely amazing. On Sunday, Rodgers' performance lent credence to the idea that he's a legit early season MVP candidate. Downed 31-28 after a late-game Dak Prescott touchdown, Rodgers led the Packers on a 9-play, 75-yard scoring drive that culminated in his game-winning pass to Davante Adams. The drive itself was a thing of beauty, extended by an 18-yard run from Rodgers himself on 3rd down immediately prior to the touchdown to Adams. The stats tell us one thing. Rodgers put up just 221 yards. He was hit on over 20% of his dropbacks. None of that really matters. The grittiness, the leadership, all of the intangibles that make him great were on display once. Rodgers continues to prove himself to be among the best of all time. Browns' Hugh Jackson apparently coaching for job. It was a good idea for head coach Hugh Jackson to give rookie second-round pick Deshaun Kaiser the starting gig out of the gate. But 5 games into his NFL career, it's readily apparent that the former Notre Dame standout is in over his head. On Sunday against the New York Jets, Kaiser turned the ball over 2 times inside the opponent's 5-yard line, an accomplishment we have not seen since last decade around the NFL. With 2 more turnovers in Sunday's 17-14 loss, Kaiser has now turned the ball over a ridiculous 13 times in his first 5 NFL starts. Folks, this means he's on pace for 42 giveaways on a season. It's also led to him being benched in each of the past 2 weeks by Jackson. This comes after Kaiser did put the Browns in position to score 4 times in the first half on Sunday. Did Cleveland somehow expect that a greenish rookie signal caller would limit his mistakes after attempting less than 700 passes in college? Yes, Jackson is suddenly looking like a man coaching for his job after a 1-20 start to his tenure in Cleveland. It's all about desperation from here on out.